hours to figure something out. With that being said, and welcome to Let the Dice Decide episode 4. I am Richelle, artist, NerdBird, and if you're joining me from my Instagram, I apologize about the typo in episode 3. Yes, we are indeed on episode 4. Because typos are a struggle. And this is an episode of art where I literally roll the dice on random character creation, and we have 2 hours to figure something out. With that being said, you guys are welcome to join me in the chat pod. Hop in and help contribute to the design, as long as your ideas don't usurp the dice's decisions. They are the dungeon masters. Don't do it. I don't want to know what'll happen if I piss them off. So, let's not find out. Either way, hop in the chat pod, join me, and let's get rolling. All right, let's see here. Show 2. Oh, sure, now we got masculine, huh? Last week we had to force that. Oh, not doing 6th. Don't think I'm doing 8 either. Nope, not doing 8. All right. Okay, D10. Neutral. Lawful neutral, specifically. Did I mess that up? Oh, I did. Oh, shoot. Nope. Lies. You are D12. I know how to count. All right. I didn't pick one for D12. Ah! Lies. Okay, let's go with archetype. Or no, color. That's right. Color. Blue. All right, D10, lawful good. All right, we got an extreme there. D10%. Semi-ancient medieval. Okay, I like where this is rolling. And semi-human. Dun. All right, so semi-human. Let's roll again for 4, evidently. Semi-human elemental. Okay. All right. We got this. We do. See you guys in a couple minutes. Hello, everyone.
All right, hey everyone. Oh, nuts.
I have had my coffee this morning. I swear. Oh. You know what? You know what? I'm totally okay making mistakes on the air. Because that isn't, we don't see that enough in society. We do on blooper reels and stuff like that, but come on now. Okay, yeah, sure, I'm a new streamer, but we're human. We're fun. Like, own to your mistakes. Come on now. Yes, my anti-murdery juicy juice. That's how I put up with people during the day. Oh, but anyway, so yes, let's get started. Alright, so blue was the color. I'm just gonna write in blue. Alright, first one. You gotta do a male. D10 said lawful good. 10% said semi-ancient or medieval. D12 said blue. D20 said semi-human. Oh, thank you, Zoid, for the subscription or following or whatever it is right now. Okay, then we gotta do a semi-human. So they can only be partially human. We can have some extra elements in there. Alright. So we pretty much have to do a hero. Lawful good male, that's generic hero. And elemental with blue. If it's blue, we could do water. I mean, yeah, this is where you guys are like, please hop in, give comments. Let's figure out where we want to go with this design. Okay, so blue, water, yeah, I mean, you know, that's kind of an easy one. Semi-ancient medieval, we could almost go into fairy tale that way. Like we can almost do like a siren, but a good one. Like a nymph? Ooh. Oh, yes, I can. I'm sorry. This thing is always such a bug. I have to fix it every time. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Alright, so honestly, when I said nymph, that makes me think maybe we should do Greek. Yeah, I kind of like that. Alright. Yeah, yep. Let's do it. Said at any time you guys are welcome to add to it. That is not so. This is really just me practicing. This is really just me trying to explore and build. So please, if you want to jump in and contribute to the design, I am absolutely all for it. Let me see here. He does not have a name. He does not have a name. So if you want to give a name to him, by all means, because names are like eyes. They make the character. Yeah. we're going with Greek. I mean, if you have something else, a different direction that we can go, we can still put that in, because right now I am just going to be working on getting his pose down. I mean, like, the Greek water nymph? You know, at first I said siren, and I was like, oh, but wait, you know, like, I'm a sucker for mythology, and sirens aren't usually good. We're doing a lawful good at that. Heitor. Hey, that sounds familiar. Hold on. Hold on, let me Google him. Oh, it keeps coming up with Hector. Ah, screw it. Oh, okay, it does mean Hector. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, and so if we are doing Greek, I want him to be a little bit more angular. And if he's a hero, or lawful good rather, lawful good really doesn't necessarily mean a hero. There can be lawful goods that aren't the hero archetype. But then again, that's kind of gray area with the neutrals. Oh, oops, I did that on the wrong layer. Huh. There we go. And honestly, Zoe, this is the first character that we actually gave a name to. My little babies are growing up. Shy, so I'm gonna put this arm kind of in the back. I'm gonna say he's a bit weary. Oh, he feels like he's leaning too far forward. Hold on. Time saver. There we go. I can live with that. We can work with that. Alright, we all know Greeks have those nicely chiseled, oh, just beautifully chiseled faces. They were the epitome of beauty back then, and founded a lot of what we know of figure drawing and heavily influenced superhero comics. So right now I'm just working on structure. And oh, well, we gotta do the Greek curls. Actually, though he's a water nymph. Been tying hair back, so let's not. We're just gonna have it fall all over the place. Alright. That's a good start. Oh, we gotta do clothes. He's a water nymph, but he probably wears some sort of attire at some point. Ooh, how should we make him a water nymph? Okay, well first we gotta give him the rite of passage. We gotta give him the robes that don't quite fit. They're just kind of draped over haphazardly. Well, he's semi-human, so we have room to play. Like, some of the things that make water elementals are fins and gills, discolored skin, scales. Actually, let me write all those down real quick. Yeah, we're probably not going to get far enough for the discolored skin portion, but the rest we can put in. Actually, if he's a swimmer, we don't... Oh, dang it. He's probably barefoot. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we'll give him just slightly longer toes. We'll put this one out. Show that they're wet. There we go. Alright. Now let's do... I like it. Alright. I'm gonna have his ear kind of weird. That's gonna be a swimming ear. Alright. let's put them together. Those immaculate features. We want him to look like he was chiseled out of marble. Because Greeks, but I am keeping this one a little bit sketchy. I'm not gonna go into refinement at all. Because when I refine, I spend a lot of time. Time is not what we have here right now. That's way too small. Looks a bit better. His nose is just too big. Goodness, I did a Vulcan eye on him. Oh no! What I don't enjoy Star Trek. I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy talk. Oh my god, you guys. I had the weirdest experience last night. Like, it was more like a realization than anything. I finally found out that Beyond Belief Season 4 with Jonathan Frakes was on Amazon or IMDb TV or whatever. Yeah, that's like an old show, like back in the 2000s. So not super old, but it was, when technology was still developing into what we know it as today, anyway. And, they take like 4 or 5 short stories and make little clips out of it. And holy cow, there was a lot of big names on there. Like, I was shocked at how many actors that we see are big today that were on there. And, anyway, so I was sitting there watching it, and the whole show is, they do the 4 or 5 short stories, and you have to pick which ones you think were based off of a true story. Hello, Alicia. And they tell you at the end which ones were based off a true story and which ones, their writers came up with, which ones were fiction. In fact, that's where it's beyond belief factor fiction. And I was sitting there watching it, and there were some that were coming up, and it's like, wait a second, I recognize this one. This one is definitely a fact. And, like, there was one that, like, really got me that they did, I want to say it was, like, episode 7 or so. And it was the daughter and the mom check into a hotel. They finally got their, their vacation to Florida, but the mom gets sick. And in the hotel room while they're checking in. And so they call a doctor, and the doctor's like, oh yeah, she has a bacterial infection, whatever. You need to go get medicine for her. And so they left and got her, the daughter left and got medicine. When she came back, the hotel was like, we've never seen you before. You're not registered. You're not, like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And she's like, well, I left my mom here. And they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. We've never seen you before. And, so the lady was, like, legitimately feeling like she was going crazy. She's like, I swear I checked in with my mom. And they went up to the room, and the room was, like, spotless. There was never any person in that room, essentially. And the lady went crazy. She's like, how can this be? I checked in with you guys, not, just last night, and my mom got sick, and the doctor walked by. And she's like, sir, you checked out my mom. Where is she? And he's like, I've never seen you before in my life. And the lady ended up, so they end the story right there, in Beyond Belief Factor Fiction. The rest of the story is that this was actually in, like, 18th century Europe. I want to say France. And, a lady checked in with her mom to a hotel. And that's exactly what happened. The doctor sent her off to get medicine. When she came back, everything was gone. Her mom was gone. And they ended up institutionalizing her for hysteria. Because they're like, oh, this woman's crazy. She's saying that, she and her mom went on vacation, and, like, there is no record of her or her mom here. And but what ended up happening and surfacing, like, 20 or 30 years later, is the hotel stood up. And the hotel's like, okay, we wronged her because we didn't want our reputation to be tarnished. When she was gone, the mother had died. And they covered it up. And so the lady was wrongfully institutionalized and everything like that. And it was horrible. It was a horrible thing. But anyway, so I'm just sitting there watching Beyond Belief, and I'm just like, oh my god, how many of these do I recognize now? You're a little bit too into crime and horror when you can just spot them right off the bat. Like, yep, I know that one. teacher with the scary doll. Yep, that's a classic. You know, it's like, oh, jeez. But anyway, what are you up to today, Alicia? Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. It started airing in the late 90s. It got 4 seasons. The first 3 were different hosts. The fourth season, the one that I like watching, is the one with William T. Riker from Star Trek. That actor hosts it. And it's super, super cool. It was kind of like, it aired alongside The Twilight Zone, when they would go back and play episodes of The Twilight Zone. Oh, that's always good. Yep, you know what, Felicia, that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm pushing my brain muscles, I'm pushing my output muscles. It's on either Amazon or IMDb TV. IMD, the nerd database. For when you know an actor and you recognize them, you're like, oh my god, where is he from? And you go to that website. That website does shows now. I highly recommend it. I mean, it's super fun anyway. You know, you can see where it has a lot of, you know, like the traditional, in that era, what was considered horror, what was considered scary and stuff like that. Even though it doesn't really get horrible or scary, it's just more like, to us nowadays, it's more like thriller. But super awesome writing, and when you actually look into the stories that they used as a base, you know, you can see how they transcribed that into a short story format. And so, yeah, especially, but that's where I figured, like, for you, yes, you should watch it. Just so you can have another notch on your belt. Like, it's super, super awesome to research. And it's also fun to test your own brain, because, you know, you don't find out which ones are real or not until the end. You know, so you can see if you can pick out the writer's style, essentially. See if you can spot where the writer has telltales and stuff. And another fun show that I also recently watched, that recently came out on Netflix, makes me happy in my creature design bones. Like, oh my god. Okay, so if y'all are new to me, I grew up around entomology and bugs and, you know, zoos and exhibits and the whole 9 yards. I'm not a stranger to the animal kingdom by any means. And so because of that, like, growing up, I would see creature designs based on animals, and I'd be like, but wait a second, that's not a thing. And especially when it comes to aliens. Not aliens because I'm a huge fan of aliens, like the actual face-hugging kind. Um, but there were some designs that it didn't work, and it's like that doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. And Netflix released Alien Worlds. And like also from like a writer's standpoint, that was such a good way to do it. Like they did amazing graphics. But on the science end of things, on the animal kingdom side of things, holy crap. So what they did was they have information about exoplanets. And exoplanets are planets that are outside of our solar system that may be able to support life or are currently supporting life. But for like human conditions, they may be a little bit off. And like, one of them has a denser atmosphere, so its gravity is higher. But at the same time, because the air is denser, you're able to float in the sky a little bit more often. And plus the ones they covered just made my nerd go, ah! But, like one of them, I forgot what they called it. The planet is just a little bit larger than Earth, and its sun is the same size as our sun. But it's not rotating as it goes around the sun. It's the same side is facing the sun every rotation. And so because of that, one side is super hot and one side is super cold. But there, in that line between the light and the dark side, there is water. They found water in there. They found oxygen in the atmosphere and stuff like that. So it pretty much was like a whole bunch of scientists getting together and be like, okay, if animals if this supports life, and if animals did develop from this life, what would they need to survive on that planet? How would they what are the possibilities of behavior and stuff? And it's like, yeah, sure, maybe the designs aren't entirely accurate, but the behavior behind them and a lot of the systems that they would need in place in order to survive is, oh my god, that made me so happy about that. Like, I just watched it in amazement. And from a writing standpoint, they did freaking amazing. Like, they weren't, going on, oh, this must be a thing or whatever. What they were doing is they made a possible scenario of an ecosystem on that planet. And they show you the scenario. And then, once they show you the scenario, they break down each component of the ecosystem with examples in our world. So, like, one of them, it was the second episode. It's like it took me straight back to my childhood. I would go with my dad to some conventions in Tucson. And sure enough, a whole bunch of bug guys get together and they're like, oh, let's go out in the desert and hunt scorpions. And so I would hang a black light out of the car window, and every time I saw a scorpion glowing in the sand, which was just this little green dot from the car, I had to tell them to stop, and I would jump out and get it and give it to them. As a little girl, I was hunting scorpions, and oh my god. So they used scorpions as an example for one of their components. And they had a venomologist going around the desert with a black light hunting for scorpions, and I'm like, that's a thing! It was so fun, and like, even if you're not super into like the science end of it, just it as a show is super, super fun. It's super educational too. Like, they really covered a lot, and in such a good way. Like, I am applauding them, and I am really jealous of the people who got to work on that show. Because that's the point. honestly, this guy's a swimmer. He probably has, like, amazing calves. Now that I think about it. I really gotta put some time into his calves. He probably just has, like, great legs all around. I'll need to be sure about that. Because it's like, here the calf looks a bit skinny, but let's freaking get some muscles in there. He grew up a swimmer. Think of what else I watched this week. Oh, Beyond Skyline. I finally watched Beyond Skyline. That's been on my to-do list forever. And it wasn't bad. Like, I like how they did the first person. You know, they did it from the point of view of the people that they were following, of the main characters. And they don't go into, you know, at least in the first one, they don't go a whole lot into, like, what the world thinks is going on. We have no idea what's going on. You know, kind of like Cloverfield. How Cloverfield was. Before Cloverfield Paradox. That's the feeling I got from Beyond Skyline. And honestly, it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't horrible. Did it get a little bit out there at times? Yeah, it really did. You know, the brains, and then all of a sudden they can use it. But that also kind of makes sense because, you know, our brains are like the most complex organic computers there is. Yeah, sure, a lot of us don't even know how to properly use them, and some of us refuse to actually use our brains, but that's besides the point. The alien civilization harvesting our brains to use them for their droid computers. That's kind of a neat premise, actually. So I thought it was cute. Not 100% great, but it was cute. Getting down to the bare bones of the computer. Wow, of the drawing. Freudian slip. You. I mean, like, I'm not an expert on some mythology or anything like that. I'm not. But to me, that kind of ruins it. You know, I think it's important to let your audience decide. You know, let your audience come to their own emotional conclusions. You can influence how you want them to feel. You can convey, you know, you want, because backstep. when you write a story, or you write for a movie, or whatever the case is, you don't just want to tell your audience what happened. You want them to get involved in your story and to feel what you're trying to convey. You want them to get emotionally involved in your story. And that's where, like, the best movies out there, what they make us feel, not what they tell us to feel, what they make us feel is exactly what the writers intended. Is exactly what the entire team intended for the audience to feel. When they get attached to the characters, XYZ happens. A big shot LA nourishment. And I mean, like, I'll have to check it out a little bit. I'm not super into human dramas. But I do have my moments. No, I'll still check it out because I'm curious what you mean. I mean, like, I can think of some examples where the artist or the writers and, you know, the team tried too hard to force feelings on their audience. But I'm curious, so I'm gonna check it out. What episode would you recommend to me that I get to? Like what's the point where you're like, oh my god? Oh no, I actually love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, so real quick, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I'm honestly not enjoying how he's coming out. I may just end up cutting them in half and working on the top half, but let's see. 5-minute break. See you guys in a few minutes. Alright, and we're back. And honestly, sitting on it for a few minutes, I don't like how he's coming out at all. So I am going to cut him in half. And we're gonna take him, blow him up a bit. And I also don't like the glue of his neck. Granted, he's semi-human, but I still don't like it. And if you are just tuning in or watching this after the fact, you can see all the prompts on the right-hand side that we have to work with. We didn't really... You win some, you lose some. I'll just say that. You win some, you lose some. Last week was great! Last week was amazing! Had way too much fun last week. Had to make up for it somewhere. Okay. So we're gonna start over. But yeah. So I'll definitely have to check that out, Lisa, because I'm curious what you mean. I really am. And you said Virgin River, right? Okay, awesome. I wrote it down. So yeah, that is definitely on my list. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do this week. Like, the past couple of weeks has just been kind of geared up. This week is going to be super busy homework-wise. Like, I've kind of been in finals. My assignments have... like, my assignments have been... working on final projects and stuff. And, like, actually, that's the sneak peek I have. I put in the title with sneak peek. Because I'm happy with how that one's coming out. So I kind of want to show it off as a work in progress. But anyway, so yeah, this week is going to be pretty jam-packed. I still feel like his eyes are too small. Eric, he's just frustrating me. He's just frustrating me today. Maybe we should have totally done something differently. But that's okay. You work with what you got. So with the homework and with the assignments, especially when you start getting into higher level classes, like there's already some classes in the foundations and stuff where the assignment either goes over 1 week or 2 weeks. And like for the one that I'm showing off, we're actually working on this assignment for 4 weeks. Yep. So you have finals months as opposed to just finals week. But then a couple of two of my other classes are, we have our assignments to do, but then we also have to compose our work into a portfolio. And that's all this week. Oh, hello! I saw you got your computer all set up. Duh, it looks awesome. I especially to me, it's just satisfying also to just have the colors. Like mine right now, it just glows blue. And so I turn my keyboard blue and my mouse is blue. Because I guess there's a program or something that you can download to where you can change the colors or something like that. And I haven't figured that out yet. So I'm like, okay, everything's blue. I like blue anyway. We're good. Trying to make up for lost time since I backtracked. Oh, I want to play it so badly. And I've been getting better. I've been getting on it over the weekend, and I wasn't in a position to stream it. But I've been getting better at it. I finally got an A rank, and I keep getting bear. Bear and octopus are the ones that I get the most. But I just made it to Africa, so I haven't started in Africa yet. Maybe I'll do that tonight if I get far enough with my homework assignment. Or tomorrow night or something. I don't know. We'll see. This week is really crammed. But I particularly like it because it's not your standard first-person shooter. Um, Plus, it in itself is just a masterpiece. Like, there is so much that makes me so happy when I play it. And you guys have heard me go on my Metal Gear Solid 5 rants. Okay, let's make them pretty now. So I backtracked. Also, what is this music we're listening to? Actually, oh, Alicia, because I know you and I have the same taste in music. Awesome! Oh, I love it. Yeah, I just got my Christmas present. That was that little owl that I posted up on Instagram. Like, I loved it. So I'm actually gonna let my stream mute for a bit. Because have you heard of Poets of the Fall? Hold on. I think that's what they're called. Double check here. Okay, yeah, Poets of the Fall. Now, like, a lot of their music is just kind of like meh, not really, something that I enjoy. But like this one song, holy crap! Like I've been listening to it on repeat at this point. So I'm gonna play that real quick. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And this, I'm gonna write it in here.
Night, the world, it's mine. With nobody else out here, it's time, run wide and royally cavalier. To burn, ignite, I do it for so much less. When all is made clear, there is nothing else. And here we stand, the sweet, arresting duality. And I come to, it's resin all over me. Will I awake? Will I get a ride with you? In this race of two, we're an endless stream of choices. We're the softest murmur of voices. Without names, we're fantasizing, dancing like flames, mesmerizing. A darkest quiet play and satiric harmonies, making waves and diving under, lightning to the sound of thunder. A darkest quiet singing such haunting melodies. So white, so still, so bright. It's almost too painful now. I'm ready to fight, to run from the light. And here now comes the sweet, corrupting reality. While now I'm free, will I once cease to be? Will I awake? Will I get a ride with you in this race With the names we're fantasizing, dancing like flames, mesmerizing. My darkness quiet, playing such eerie harmonies, making waves and diving under, lightning to the sound of thunder. My darkness quiet, singing such haunting melodies. Brothers but not separated, marionettes animated, lovers are strangely related. Brothers but not separated, marionettes animated, lovers are strangely
Okay, so if you're watching this after the fact, odds are that portion was muted because DCMA standards, but I don't care. Right? And I listened to a lot of their other songs and they just didn't feel the same. However, there was another one that I can play for you real quick. There was one more that I liked, and it's not usually my flavor, but it was really good. Let's see here. Oh, and don't be a liar, Journey. It sucks right now. Oh my god, I am just off my game today. Anyway, but so yeah, so this one, same artist, Dancing on Broken Glass. Once again, this will probably be muted in the replay, but if you want to enjoy moments like this, then come live. Haha.
This place, a palace of light,
Guilty!
of silence and pretense, a token of our trade. And here, you and I lie wreathed in flames, all over a life lived by making up new games of gazes and whispers. I want you to know I still love you, even though we've been dancing on broken glass. Parade all your memories, for the moments we shared never fade away. I want you to know I still love you when I walk down the memory lane. When the night swears its love to the stars, there will be no more tears today. Hey, hey. We shared a penchant for cyanide praise, fashioned our armors of empathy's malaise.
And no, I don't. I'm not feeling it.
And all of that hurt, and all of those words that we said, you think we poisoned the ground on which we tread, but the lining is silver. I want you to know I still love you, even though we've been dancing on broken glass. Parade all your memories, for the moments we share never fade away.
Okay, real quick. Zoid already named him.
There's a life for us
Heitor.
here this way. I want you to know I still love
His name is
you,
Heitor.
even though we've been dancing on broken glass.
Which is also known as Hector, which is accurate in Greek mythology. And it makes me sad because I love Greek mythology and I'm sucking at this one. Goodness.
When the night swears its love to the stars, there will be no more tears today.
Anyway, so yes, that's Poets of the Fall. Yeah, like they did really, really good with that. Like, oh my god. I don't like all their songs. Like there's some that like I can't even listen to, but like those two, oh my goodness. Yes. Recommended. NerdBird seal of approval. Okay, let's change this up. Let's go back to Pretzel Rocks. I want to click on the folk, but I'm scared to because I like Celtic folk. And I probably don't mean Celtic folk. Oh, but they have a Latin and reggaeton. Oh. Yeah, let's try synthwave. Oh no, let's do epic. See what epic's like. So cinematic, orchestral, and pirate. And honestly, because what I'll do, Alicia, is like I ended up having to try like a couple of different music platforms because I was using Google Play, and Google Play just worked for me. I really enjoyed it, and it was kind of sad though because like some songs you'd put on their playlist and then they no longer offer it anymore, and then it would just be gone randomly, but. So I tried Amazon Music, but I couldn't find a lot of the ones that I liked. Then I tried YouTube Music because I have the YouTube Red subscription. That's where I got Google Play, and ad-free YouTube. Yeah, so it's like I'm still supporting my YouTubers without ads. But then, that would not sync with my car controls or my keyboard controls or anything like that. I had to manually go into app to pause, play, or skip songs. So then I tried, so now I'm on Spotify. And so their algorithm is a little bit different than Pandora's. I can see that because, yeah, we use Pandora in the house and stuff. And, you know, so I was like, you know what, I want to try something other than Pandora, and everyone's been praising Spotify, so I'm like, you know what, let me get on Spotify. And I think it, Dark Elements, My Sweet Mystery, I had built a radio off of that, because I love My Sweet Mystery, like, that is just such a cute song. And that's where it brought up Poets of the Fall. Yeah, so I'll do that. I'll be like, oh, I like this song. And then I'll start a radio and it'll bring up ones like it, which I think is really nice. Yeah, I can sympathize with that, Jeffrey, because today's not going the way I wanted to anyway, either. But you know what? Some days you win some days you lose some. But you keep having days, and I'm sure that Yeah, like, I already know, yeah, today's not entirely bad. I am just totally off my game. I am just like, oh my gosh. Like, you know why? I think it's because I stayed up late because last night I was working on my homework and I got so into it, I lost track of time. Next thing I know, it's like 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I gotta be up at like 9 or 10. Nuts. Ah, yep. Yeah, but so in terms of music, I started using Spotify, but for the streams, they said that Spotify like has some sort of DCMA list, and DCMA is the laws and copyright stuff for using music in streams. And it's like when you're live streaming, it's not so bad as long as you still get credit, but to record it and leave it there, it has to be DCMA approved. So the artist has to say yes, approve mine for DCMA usage. Otherwise, Twitch will go in and mute the stream on anything that is not DCMA authorized. Instead of trying to figure out which ones on Spotify are DCMA approved, I found out that Pretzel Rock, which Twitch also supports, is completely DCMA. All DCMA approved. So I was like, oh, you know what? That's a thing. Okay, so that way I don't have to worry about it on my stream, and plus I don't mind electronic music hearing it. Like, you'll get used to it. It'll become like a second brain. This song is legitimately called The Angry Octopus. Oh my god! No, I love it! Oh my god! At first I was like, Ailstorm? No, this isn't metal enough for Ailstorm. What? Is it running a little bit warm because it feels warm, or is it running a little bit warm and your system is saying it's running warm? So if it feels warm, that's electronic circuits. That's what happens. It generates heat. But definitely checking in your system parameters and stuff like that, and scope out is if it's within nominal limits. X warm is okay. Hot is not. 64 degrees Celsius? Yeah, you're good until about 80 or 90 degrees Celsius. But 67's fine. I know it was a little bit higher than that, is like when here it's like, okay, that's running a little bit too hot. But all electronic components are built to withstand a level of heat because heat is generated by CPUs and stuff like that. So that's where you have cooling fans and stuff, just to make sure that there is a way for the heat to escape. But then too hot and components can't handle it, and that's where you'll start seeing stuff break down. But yeah, like your nominal limits, so that way you know. And if it's getting too close, too hot for you, then yeah, put in another fan. But realize it's also a thing. Like, I've never gotten into liquid fans. Like, I had the option to put one in mine, and it just... Oh, maybe I'm just old school about it because I'm like, yeah, water, electricity, are you nuts? But the fans I got worked just fine, and I haven't had any issues since, so... my Windows Surface, when I was using that, I would use it for Photoshop, and I would have it on my lap, and it got to the point where it was like, I can't even hold this, it's so hot. And so, like, that one, whenever I use it, I don't run Photoshop anymore on it. It's just pretty much like my travel computer, and then I have my iPad as my companion. The only time my iPad heats up, but I have the alert set up on the temperature, the only time it even gets relatively close is when I have it plugged in and I've been on it for like 7 hours. That's the only time I run into issues with my iPad heating up. My phone, though, my phone's like freaking like 7 years old. That poor thing. There's been a couple of days where like I would be driving and it would be in the sign, and then all of a sudden it starts screaming at me like, I'm too hot. I'm like, I'm sorry, I left the butt warmer on. Okay, he's definitely looking a little bit better. He's definitely look. Okay, guys, actually give me 5 minutes. Oh, my kid needs me. I will be right back, and then we'll see if we can make this better to where I'm okay with it. We'll see. All right, quick break. Okay, I'm back. And oh, as I was getting back, Alicia, I totally forgot to show you. Okay, so I went and I grabbed it real quick. He's an owl, babies! Look at him! And he's pudgy! And he's just so adorable. And he gets to hold a pencil. Like, I freaking love that he gets to hold a pencil. Now I just want to buy tiny glasses and put it on him. So yeah, like my owl collection is growing. I got a big pink one that Nick got me, and that one I keep at his place because I love it having it in my lap when I work at his place. So whenever I move, finally, hopefully this year, like crossing fingers, I'll be able to join places. But anyway. So now that I'm looking at this guy, he's really... The idea isn't bad. It's the execution. Like, he's got components that are neat. But... Like, this would definitely be a design I would work on several times before I'd actually be happy with it. Yeah, like figuring out how his fins go in there and everything. I'm gonna give him some more scales here. Oh, we gotta do an emblem for him because I gave him a little emblem to hold his robe thing. Towel! He's wearing a towel! Because 42! No, so, you know what? Let's go to the Aquarius route. Let's just put a jug. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna call this done. Because if I keep working on it, I'm just gonna drive myself nuts. Yeah, I would honestly... Yeah, I would take this and I would totally redesign it. This would definitely be one that, if I wanted to move forward with this character, I would redesign it several times and I would try out several different iterations before landing on one that I liked. And that's typically what happens with character design, and that's where I love doing this for you guys, and I love randomizing it because, you know, I can see what elements I am strong in, what elements I am versed in, and what ones I'm not, you know, so it's like, okay, this is one that I'm definitely not very strong in, but I see that now. Now I know what I can work on when I do my general practice and stuff. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap up, and I promise you guys a sneak peek. So, for one of my portfolio classes, I've been trying different things, and some of them will work, some of them have not. You guys have seen some of the paintings I've worked on, but you haven't seen them on Instagram yet because they're not done to me. There's still a lot of work that they need to have done. I did post one that was a work in progress. So this next piece, you know, still staying with an illustration, so there is narrative to it. I'm going a little bit more the graphic novel route, but also kind of, I'm not going to say Alphonse Mucha, but definitely more with pencil work heavy than it is painting heavy. And I am having way too much fun with it. I am having so much fun with it. She is coming out so beautiful. Quabam! Oh my god. I love how she is coming out. So as I move forward with this one, yeah, I'm gonna try a form of coloring for graphic novels. Even though for the scale of it, I probably went way too detailed, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I probably went way too detailed with it. Either way, so it's going to be a full illustration, more illustration than it is a graphic novel, so to speak. Either way, I freaking love her. I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek because she's coming out so good. And for those of you who are relatively in tune with my story, as these are my original characters, I freaking love her dress. Like her dress, I painted it for the last assignment, and I love how it came out. And I'm like, you know what? That's a dress that works for her. We're gonna go with that. It's not gonna be her end all be all outfit, but it'll certainly be one of her event dresses. So either way, yes. Now you guys know what I was working on till 4 a.m. last night. I'm having way too much fun with it. And so yeah, you win some and you lose some for sure. Either way, I will go ahead and hop off then, and I will see some of you in a little bit because workshop. But either way, thank you for joining me. If this is after the fact, I'm sorry I was so off my game, but yeah, it happens, especially during finals madness. So as always, stay safe, stay nerdy, and I will see you guys same time next week. Bye, everyone!